Do you want to improve at Black Ops 6? Do you want to master the Omni movement feature? Well, look no further than this video, because the settings that I'll be showing you guys will allow you to do just that and become better at playing Black Ops 6. I'm not gonna waste any time here. I'm gonna straight away show you guys the most important setting that you need to be using to master the Omni movement feature, which, as you guys know, it is one of the biggest and most important features to use in Black Ops 6, and that is of course none other than the sprint assist. By default it will be at off, but you want to change it to tactical sprint assist. This is the most important setting that you need to change, and if you click show more, you will of course have the sprint assist delay. By default this will be at 400. No, reduce that all the way to 0. You do not want to have any delays. The second you move your left stick, you want to straight away be sprinting. You do not want to have any delays. That's going to be terrible. And then for sprint assist sideways, also on, and for sprint assist backward, also on. And I'm going to show you guys why this is the most important setting in this game, because let's say this setting is off. Let me show you what happens. As you guys saw, I just turned it off, and when I'm moving forward and I'm moving sideways or even backwards, I'm not running. Okay, if I want to use any of the Omni movement feature, not only do I have to move my left stick to the direction that I want, but I also have to click it and then press the button to dive or slide. And guess what? That takes too much time, especially in a game like Black Ops 6 with the TTK or time to kill being a bit faster than Black Ops Cold War. You don't have time to press 100 combination of buttons only to use the Omni movement feature to slide or dive. This is gonna take way too much time, especially in a gunfight. However, when you have the sprint assist on, let me show you what that does. As you guys can see, I'm gonna turn tactical sprint on, and let me show you this. You see, I'm not pressing the button, I'm simply moving my left stick the direction that I am running to, and it's already sprinting for me. Okay, I don't have to press the button, I don't have to do anything. It is automatically sprinting forward, backward, sideways, and then all I have to do is simply press my slide or dive button, and I'm gonna be using the Omni movement feature. This will make your life much easier, because instead of pressing the button and moving the direction you want and then pressing the button, for me it's circle to slide or dive, no, you no longer need to do that. Simply move your left stick the direction that you want to run, and then all you have to do is press the slide or dive button, whatever your button is, and boom, just like that you already eliminate one step, and of course making it much quicker to use the Omni movement feature. If there's an enemy there, right there, boom, you will have the advantage over the enemy, because you don't have to press 100 buttons just in order to slide or dive in any direction. No, boom, all you have to do is move the left stick in any direction and then press the dive or slide button, and you'll be already using the Omni movement feature. I'm telling you guys, if you don't want to use any of the settings that I'll show you guys in this video, but this setting you must use, believe me, you will be winning more gunfights when you have the sprint assist on and you use the Omni movement feature in games. Okay, now let's move on to the other settings, and let's start off with the controller setting first. For the button layout, I use L1 button jumper. I've been using it for many years now. It just makes my life much easier. It swaps the tactical equipment and the jump/mental, so the jump and mental becomes L1 and the tactical becomes X. Then we move on to the layout preset. That's default, I never touched it, kept it the same. For the horizontal and the vertical sensitivity, I keep it at 7, especially in a game like Black Ops 6 with the Omni movement feature. I think you need a tiny bit higher sensitivity just so you can move about faster, but ultimately when it comes to the sensitivity, this is gonna depend on you guys. You need to try different sensitivity until you find the one that works for you. For example, for me, horizontal and vertical sensitivity works for me at 7. I find it to be the best area, but for you it might not work. It might be too fast or too slow, so that's why for sensitivity you need to change it and see what fits you the best. For simplified controls, low motor strain and the L1 button ping, I just keep them all off, and also the swap L1 and R1 with L2 and R2. Now it is proven that using the L1 and R1 to actually shoot and aim is faster than using the L2 and R2. I'm just used to aim and shoot with L2 and R2, so I keep it like that. We move on to the controller vibration and trigger effect, also off. You do not want to have anything affecting your aim like a controller vibration or the trigger effect, no, especially in a game of Call of Duty where every action, every instant is very important, and of course the recoil control. Last thing you want to do in a game like Call of Duty is have a trigger effect or controller vibration changing your aim, and of course that's gonna lead to more deaths than kills, so that is absolutely terrible. And finally, when it comes to dead zone input, to be honest with you guys, I don't touch it, I just keep it the way it is. Now let's move on to the aiming setting. First of all, we have the sensitivity multiplier. Again, I keep it at default, everything is awesome the way it is. And then we move on to the aiming advanced setting. If you click on it, we move on to the aim response curve tab, and I keep it on dynamic. Again, I've been using the dynamic aim response curve tab for some time now. I just find it to be the best option out of the 3. However, if you're new to Black Ops 6, then I recommend you guys to start with standard. It will help you a lot more. But if you're not new to Call of Duty, then I recommend you guys to use the dynamic curve tab. And for the aim response curve tab slope scale, I just keep it maxed out at 1. And finally, for the custom sensitivity per zoom, I just keep it off. I don't touch any of these settings. Then of course we move on to the most controversial feature in Call of Duty every single year, and that is aim assist. Of course you want to have it on. Why on earth would you disadvantage yourself and have it off. Any help that we can get in aiming and making sure that we can win more gunfights, we always make sure we have it on. So that's why target aim assist is crucial to have it on. Now the interesting thing about aim assist in Black Ops 6 is the fact that Shark actually confirmed that they nerfed it at close ranges. So like I said, that is very interesting. Next up we move on to the movement setting, and of course we already spoke about sprint assist. Then you move on to the mantle assist, and this one you need to have it off, okay? And the reason for that is because you don't want to be disadvantaging yourself in a gunfight. Let's say you have the mantle assist on, you're in a gunfight, you get close to some sort of an obstacle and your operator decides to jump it, and boom, there it goes, you just lost that gunfight because you have the mantle assist on. So like I said, for mantle assist you turn it off. You only want to mantle over obstacles when you actually press the button to do so, and not automatically. And the same thing goes for crouch assist, I also keep it off. Now yes, I can see where this comes in handy multiple times. If you have it on, you're trying to get away from a gunfight, and instead of pressing the button, the second you go to a valid opening, as they say there, boom, you will slide automatically, or you will crouch and you go into cover. But at the same time, it's similar to the mantle assist. Let's say you're in a gunfight and you're trying to move one way, and boom, there's a valid opening right there, and the second you get close to it, your operator will straight away crouch, and boom, there goes your gunfight. And that's why the mantle assist and the crouch assist always have them off. And the same exact thing goes for the automatic airborne mantle, always have it off for the same reason that I just talked to you guys about the mantle assist and the crouch assist. Then we have the slide/dive behavior, and I have it tapped to slide. Personally, I feel like that's the best way. I use slide way more often than diving. Simply put, I find it much easier and much quicker to get out of tricky situations by sliding. I tap the button, I'm sliding, I'm out of there. Simple as that. Like I said, it's much easier to just tap the button and slide than it is to hold the button and slide. So like I said, for the slide/dive behavior, I have it tapped to slide. For the auto door peek, I just keep it off. There's no need to be peeking towards the door when you're aiming down sight. Then you move on to the movement advanced settings. First of all, for the sprint and tactical sprint behavior, I have it toggle. It is much easier. Auto move forward and grounded mantle, both of them off. Then you have sprint restore on. Again, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage if you have it off. Let's say you just dove, or maybe you're prone, and the second you get up, you need to be straight away sprinting, and that's why it's important to have sprint restore on. And the same goes for the slide maintain sprint. The second you slide and you finish, boom, you need to be sprinting. So again, it's important to have it on. For the tactical sprint behavior, I have it on single tap sprint, but this setting doesn't really matter if you have the sprint assist as the tactical sprint assist, as we spoke about earlier in the video, because that will do this for you. And finally, for sprinting door bash, I have it on. Next up, we have the combat setting, and for the aiming down sight behavior, I have it on hold. It is much easier than toggle. Simply press and hold the button to aim down sight, and when you no longer want to aim down sight, simply let go of the button. It is much easier that way. For the weapon mount activation, I find it easier to be aiming down sight and then press the melee button. For the quick C4 detonation, I have it one by one. So I throw a C4, I detonate it. If you have it as group, you have to throw all your C4s before you can detonate them. That takes too much time compared if you just throw one C4, detonate them, boom, simple as that. For the equipment behavior, I have it on hold. Again, much easier. For the manual fire behavior, I have it on press. Next up, we move on to the combat advanced setting. I pretty much have all of them the same except couple. For example, for the weapon mount exit, you want to have it instant. You're mounting, and the second you decide to unmount, boom, instant, it happens. That's always awesome. For the interact/reload behavior, if you're playing multiplayer, you want to have it on tap to reload. It is much easier because on multiplayer maps, you're not really interacting with anything, so there is no need to have it on tap to interact. However, if you're playing Warzone, it's a different story. You want to have it tap to interact because, as you guys know, in Warzone, you're interacting with so many different things. So you want to have that be instant. You want to pick up some loot, boom, tap, boom, you interact quickly and get out of there. But again, for multiplayer, keep it to tap to reload. For the sprint cancels reload off, why would you want to disadvantage yourself there? For the depleted ammo weapon switch on, it is just much faster. And for everything else, I just keep it the same. Next up, we move on to the graphics settings, and the first one is 120 Hz refresh rate. Always have it on. You don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage by only using 60 Hz. Always have the 120 Hz refresh rate on because you will actually have the upper hands in all the games you play. We move on to the quality setting, and you have the world motion blur, the weapon motion blur, and the depth of field. All three have them off, okay? Especially the world and weapon motion blur, absolutely off always. You don't want to be disadvantaging yourself by making everything blurry just because you're moving or your weapon is moving, and maybe there's an enemy in the distance that you won't see because you have the motion blur on. The same thing goes for depth of field, always have it off. Also for the fidelity FX cast, always off. And for the on-demand texture streaming, I haven't optimized. Again, I don't touch these settings, just keep it the way they are. Next up, we move on to the view setting. For the motion reduction, I have it off. For the field of view, it is important you have it maxed out at 120 because in a game like Call of Duty, you need to be seen as much as you can, and having the field of view or FOV of 120 allows you to do just that. So make sure you are not using anything below 120. Always use the max FOV that you can because it allows you to see more and of course gives you the upper hand compared to other others who use less than 120. For the ADS field of view, I keep on affected. Even though I am aiming down sight, I still want to see as far and as much as I can, so that's why it's important to have it on affected. If you use independent and you aim down sight, it will bring your FOV much closer, and you don't want to be having that. Next up, you have the weapon field of view. I just keep on default. I don't want my weapon to look smaller or larger. I just want it to look normal, so I keep on default. And for the inverted flashback, this is gonna depend on you. If you don't want to get blinded by the white screen that appears when you get flashbang, make sure to have this on. You actually get a black screen when you get flashbang, and like I said, it is just much better for your eyes. But yeah, these are the best settings that I've used so far in Black Ops 6, and I 100% recommend you guys to use it as well, especially the tactical sprint assist. Make sure you have that on. It will make your life much easier. Believe me, it's almost like an OP weapon but for settings. Make sure you have the tactical sprint assist on. It is a game changer setting. But although that being said, make sure to click the video on the screen right now to watch all the weapons and their inspect animations in Black Ops 6 beta. Thank you guys for watching this video.